I have been waiting for a day like today. Like, I have been looking at the sky, hoping for rain, so that I could see it out here in the sacred space. And I'm a little under the weather today, so pun not intended. And I looked up and it was pouring, and I'm like, I missed this. So I'm running out here, put myself in an asthma attack, trying to get out here set up. Well, I wanted to sit here in the rain, but then I realized, this is a good opportunity to talk about thankfulness for the rain. I've met people who hated the sun. One of my exes used to actually curse at it, stupid sun, and get all mad when it would get in his eyes. Really crazy. And I've met people who are like, I hate the rain because my clothes get wet. And grrr. I also take showers, but I don't want to get wet, which I get that. Trust me. You're wearing your clothes, it's icky. Lately, we've been in a drought. And I've had one of the bushes along the side of the house, and it was a bush planted to feed butterflies and to keep that area from crumbling and to beautify it, and it has died. What you're looking at is one of my pear trees, and it's turning yellow because of the season, yes, but also they haven't been doing well. This is definitely a time to be thankful for the rain. Whether you perceive it as good or bad, it's a natural part of the order, and I'm glad to see it. Now, I don't know if this is a pagan thing. I don't know if this is a Native American thing. This is definitely something I picked up along the way. And that's what I want to segue into, is negative spirits, which I dealt with a lot. And one of them that I dealt with came forward and pretended to be Frigg. And I can tell you she was not. What she was a sorrow drinker. Well, a lot of people say, well, we should do something about them. We should fight them. We should, some people actually make a living at killing spirits that we perceive as negative. Last night, sitting at that little space, I wasn't doing a fire because it was like 2 a.m. and there's fire bans and stuff and everything. And with the drought, it wasn't safe anyway. But I had my lantern going. And I stopped and poured, shared my drink with my spirits and Odin and all that kind of good stuff. And I hadn't touched on Frigg because the Frigg that I had dealt with was a negative spirit. It wasn't actually like what you would perceive as Frigg. But I stopped a moment and I thanked her too, because despite the fact that she was a sorrow drinker and had put me into distress more than once, she still had her place and she had done a couple things. And then I'm hit with grieving over my cat. Just out of nowhere, remembering when he died and how I had failed him and stuff and the guilt. But mostly just the grief. And I realized that she had come and she was doing what she does. And I forbade it. I put up my walls. I said, no, that's not allowed. Which is what you do. I was talking to a friend of mine and I realized, she's got her place in this order or she wouldn't exist. She's not outside the natural order. We have just forgotten our balance. Humans are the stewards of this world. And part of stewardship is a lot more than hugging a tree. It's also remembering our place with the spirits and sometimes guiding them. You guide a spirit to the afterlife or whatever. And I realized that this one, and she always just struck me as really young. This one perhaps needs to be guided where what she needs to do can be beneficial, because it is important that we grieve when we need to grieve. It is important that we address these negative emotions. It's important that we deal with them. And I don't mean by wallowing. I used to be such a wallower. I had an ex that used to call me the goddess of despair. But it's more than wallowing. It's just addressing and going, yeah, I'm sad. Rather than go, well, let's kill the spirit and put another notch in the imbalance that is what's going on right now, where people aren't addressing how they feel, because there was this push for a while of how anger was an emotion we should never, ever, ever accept and just completely get rid of because, oh my God, it's so bad, when actually it's a defensive tool. And we just need to learn how to harness it and wield it right. The same way goes with our grief. And there are so many places that her ways would actually be beneficial to mankind the way it's supposed to be. Grieving rooms at a hospital, grief counseling. some people repress their grief because they don't want to feel it, me included nowadays. And her function is not just to make you feel bad, it's to help you bring it out. That's what spirits like her are for. The Greeks used to have a thing where they would have catharsis. That's what one of the reasons what their theater that we do so much based upon and are inspired by was for. It was catharsis, where you would let the emotions out. When you let them out, you actually feel better. It helps keep you balanced. You need that catharsis. You need to face that anger. You need to face that grief. You need to face that sorrow. I'm not saying it's pleasant facing those kind of things and dealing with them. It's very unpleasant. It sucks. But it is important that we recognize her place in the natural order. One thing she had done very early on, when I was still mistaking her for Odin's wife, Frigg. I'm going to name her Sorrow. I think I said that already. Sorrow, I was grouped. It was whenever Odin was protecting me. One of the times Odin was protecting me because the negative spirits would literally gang up on me. And Odin was standing by my side. And it came out that a lot of the old ways have been lost. And I had said to them that they needed to pay attention to how things were done now. Oh, so high and mighty me. What she had done after that, a couple of days later, is she had approached me and she showed me her hand. And on her hand were freshly done acrylic pink nails, beautiful pink nails. She was showing me her nails. And I realized now what she was saying is, I have went into the world. I love fashion. I love to be beautiful. I can be beautiful, but I am beautiful in my capacity to bring out sorrow and grief. We romanticize grief in our movies. We, have this decay beauty idea, and it can be beautiful. And we have also forgotten that whenever we're grieving, we can be rageful, we can be ugly, we ugly cry, snot running down our chins, but also sometimes despair is beautiful. It's not pleasant, but some of the most beautiful things out there are incredibly poisonous and dangerous. And I realize now the message she was giving me. And I appreciate that lesson from this negative spirit. So as I sit here looking at the rain and how we associate rain with grief and tears, and I'm sitting here, and it's actually quite nice, and the power's off in the house, so it's not like I have anywhere to go at the moment or anything to do. I have to stop and appreciate sorrow and the lesson that Sorrow, or possibly Frigg, passed to me. And I just wanted to talk about that. And I will be probably taking a risk to give her a drink later, and we'll see how it goes. I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm going to shut up now.